Everybody, it's SilverOrpheus, and welcome back to the Monotype Tournament highlights. Um, Last time we covered General JFA versus Stone Cold William, and I also explained what happened between EnderBen and NeoDagon. I also explained what happened between Stone Cold William and Okazukiseru, and I also went on ahead and explained the rules. Today we're going to be covering my match against EnderBen. So, before we jump in, I was going to say now, Ben had probably the best team coming into this tournament. I will just say that now. Ben's team was well thought out. It was very menacing. Very mean looking Pokemon over there. I mean, look at that Mawile. You got Kartana over there. Aegislash. Excadrill's no joke. Heatran as the legendary. And then Skarmory was just straight up annoying. And in fact, NeoDagon just got absolutely humiliated by the Skarmory. And that was kind of the last straw from there. So here it's my turn with Ben. And if you guys saw my battle with Kaijuham, yeah, he kind of just got blown out of the way by my team of dark types. So my dark team consists of Greninja, Yveltal, Crocodile, Sableye, Bisharp, and Absol. My story coming into this tournament was pretty interesting, I'll go on and say the least. So, at first, I was kind of the head of this tournament. But then I ended up playing Josh at one point. I want to say no. He didn't bring Lugia in that battle. So the result was I ended up losing that battle. And I was pretty angry that day too. I remember that much. I had NeoDagon over for a practice battle. Not practice battle, but for a test recording for our next collab that's coming up. And I was pretty angry that day because my sister decided she was going to come in and just be rude and straight up all that stuff. So I kind of ended up getting dragged into a match with Josh. One, kind of against my will. Two, I was not really feeling great that day, so I guess there's that. But me versus Ben. Now, Ben is probably the one person in the group who I could probably say I'm the most. Me and Ben are like mere acquaintances, I feel like. We used to play competitive Smash Bros. Together. And at one point, we did end up fighting each other in a bracket. And that was very close. I beat him 2-0 that set, but that was all the way back in June. And we both were going at it full on mains, Pokemon Stadium 2, and I ended up winning 2-0. But I will say that Ben's really, really good at what he does. And here is no exception. This battle that I'm about to play right here, I believe is game 3 of our set, because what ended up happening was that I took game 1, Ben took game 2, and then this right here was very close between both of us, and what ended up happening was that it was not a good time for me or Ben for this game, to say the least. Because, first of all, this right here is my ace, Yveltal. Decked out with moves that can one-shot Ben's entire Steel team. Until you get Heatran here, where, yeah, that thing had Flash Fire for its ability. I guarantee it. But throughout this entire tournament, while Ben did have a very good team, Ben had the worst luck imaginable. like, when it came down to status moves, Ben kept on missing. When he was going for statuses in general, he just kept on missing again. And up to this point, Ben just kind of had to rely on, like, just raw skill and, like, all that. But at the same time, I was pretty unlucky this tournament myself. Because there were a lot of times where I went in for, like, a bunch of Dark Pulses on Greninja and wanted to flinch something, but I didn't end up getting the flinch. Also, this battle was, like, much faster than I thought it would be. It might have just been 1 point in the entire battle. But Ben's going to end up going for King Shield here on his Aegislash, which is Dark Pulse. But speaking of Dark Pulse was the one move I had the Dark Pulse's hidden effect is it's an 80 power special Dark type attack that has a 20% chance to flinch. Throughout the entire tournament, I never flinched with it. And that's just... And, like, this tournament's not even over yet, so... For me to just keep on, like, ending up in this situation... But Ben's Excadrill. This thing was Choice Scarfed. And... This Pokemon right here... was easily the most nasty thing I think I've ever come across on Ben's team. Yeah, you kind of just saw me mow down like the rest of his team. Not this thing. Oh no. This thing is just very nasty. It's very aggressive. It gets me down to that much health. Turn 24. I have to keep on spamming Recover if I want to even stand a chance. Actually, now that I think about it, I could have won this battle regardless. Because if I knew that Excadrill was Choice Scarfed at this time, I would have likely gone into Crocodile, and I would have just Earthquaked it. But that was pretty much that battle. That was game 3. And okay, I was going to say this. Games 1 and 2 were not that one-sided. Me and Ben both ended up, like, trading. Like, we both ended up in, like, very close situations on the games that we won. To the point where, well, game 1, like, we were pretty close, but I, like, just barely escaped out of it and pulled that win. Game 2, same thing happened to Ben. And then game 3, this happens. And that's just, and what we end up going through is just that very weird situation where you're on the offensive constantly by a giant red and black bird that can kill people in one hit and has a surprise heat wave. That was probably, I could probably expect Ben was not guaranteeing heat wave on Yveltal. In fact, out of all the members on my team, Yveltal was the only one that I didn't give a dark move to. Which was rather sad, considering the fact that Yveltal has an ability called Dark Aura, which gives moves a slight buff in power, and that slight buff I probably could have used in other situations, but if I did not have Heat Wave against Ben here, I would have lost this battle straight up, because Yveltal's Heat Wave, it takes out Cortana, so I can't get swept by that thing. Yveltal outspeeds the Mawile, even with its Mega Evolution, so it's done. Then here comes Aegislash, and I kind of want to preserve my Greninja for that thing, because of how powerful Greninja is, Aegislash can be. So we both just... But I feel like after seeing this battle again in this kind of situation, Ben was kind of in that situation. I feel like Ben's biggest flaw coming in here was that Ben doesn't like to switch out. And that's kind of a thing that you kind of have to do in a lot of situations. Because if you don't switch, you're going to end up in a very bad spot where you're just gonna end up just straight up losing. Especially in situations like this, because Ben's now Choice Scarf locked into Ironhead against a full team of 5, two of which resist Steel. And had I known that at the time, I would have likely switched into Excadrill to drop the attack power and then Earthquake that turn. But I didn't, and I kind of regret that decision. But in my defense during that fight, I had no idea Ben's Excadrill was Choice Scarf until after the battle. So, why am I spamming Recover here? My plan from this fight was to get myself to 97% health, like that. So that way I can take 2 Iron Heads and then go in for Foul Play. Case in point. And that was pretty much that. So that was pretty much me versus Ben. SilverOrpheus versus EnderBen. Next time, we're going to go on ahead and look at Stone Cold William versus Kaijuham, as that was the next match played in the tournament. So I'm going to see you guys then.